Like, hello. As you can see, I'm loading it. Man. I wish it wouldn't take so long to load in, you know what I mean? This is really annoying. I could have waited for this mic to go on sale. Fuck. here's my issue, right? I need to download the fucking driver for this. That's not it. Fuck. $73.
The Fine K688 is one of the best value for money microphones of our time, but it has one fatal flaw. Sometimes it can sound like you're talking into a pillow, especially with the pop filter on. And of course you can take it off, but of course, who would actually do this? So today, we are going to try to solve that problem with EQ. By the way, if you're new to this channel, my name is Dave Siltura. I'm a voice actor. Head on over to tokyodon.net/TDR-Nova. And from there, just download this free EQ plugin from Tokyo Dawn Records.
I think I got the dud.
Minutes. Let's go. So the first thing you gotta do is to head on over to tokyodon.net/TDR-Nova. And from there, just download this free EQ plugin from Tokyo Dawn Records. There is a paid version called the GE or Gentleman's Edition, but the free version is usually more than enough for most people. This plugin should be compatible with most audio software or digital audio workstations, and even OBS. Alright, let's try to EQ the Fine K688 in 5 minutes. Now. Okay, so we're on Reaper, and you go to the section where you access your EQ plugin. In this case, TDR Nova is our plugin. And I have a quick voiceover over here. Hi, my name is Dave Siltura. I'm a voice actor for video games, animation, and so much more. So what I'm going to do now is I want to see the frequencies created by this voiceover. So we are going to the... first, we're going to activate the plugin itself. So the plugin is now on. Nothing is happening. We want to turn on the real-time analyzer. What is that? It analyzes your voice or your frequency in real time. And so we click the in over here. We see these sound waves going up and down. The first thing we want to do is apply what we call a high-pass filter. So we go here, it's HP, so that's high pass. We click that, and as you can see,
these audio effects won't only work in OBS Studio, but also outside of it. For absolutely amazing with all of these filters. Okay, now before making this microphone sound amazing with all of these filters here, there are two things you absolutely need to do. We're gonna have to make sure that before applying all the filters, the volume is right here about in the yellow. But before doing that, you need to make sure that you're talking into the right side of the mic. You will not believe how many people get this wrong. Some mics record from the front, other mics record like this in this direction. An example is the Razer Siren Mini. So once you know you're talking to the right side, for me, it's like completely into the front. But I'm turning it a bit because I want to speak over the microphone, because if you speak into the mic and make like a p sound, you will hear that plosive. And when I turn it a bit and I talk over the mic, so like it's recording like this but I'm speaking like this, in that case when I do p, you will not have that plosive. And so then after that, we need to make sure that the volume here is about right. If it looks like this when you're talking, you have a problem. And if it goes completely into the red, that's even worse. Now the first thing you need to do is right clicking your audio icon here, going to sounds, then to recording, then you double click your microphone, you go to levels, and then this is the first place where you need to change the volume before adding or removing gain and stuff in OBS with filters. So I did set the mic to 50% gain here. If I just move it to 100, you will see in OBS that I'm going into the red, and it's kind of distorting. And so I'd say move it to the left and then just talk like you would on stream, and then gradually move it to the right until the volume is like at the end of the yellow, maybe a bit before that. And that's the perfect starting point for all the filters we're going to add. If I shout now, hey, it's going to peak, and if I talk really quiet, it's going to be too quiet. So this is the perfect starting point. We can now go to the filters because this is really exciting. All of these filters will make this mic sound amazing. And the first filter you can add is a gain filter. And so there will be people that did set their microphone to 100% and that are still not at the end of the yellow here. In that case, you can add a gain filter here in OBS, and then you can just add gain right here artificially. However, it's better to do it in the audio settings. Now for everyone, the order of all these filters is extremely important, and the first thing you need to add is noise suppression. A lot of people first add all the effects and then noise suppression, but what you're doing then is amplifying all the noise that's within the audio and then afterwards trying to remove it. However, you should remove the noise first and then use the clean voice audio to add all the effects. You click on OK, and there are a bunch of options. That is if you have an NVIDIA graphics card. If you don't, you will need to use one of these two options. All of these work the same. You click on it and then you just choose the suppression level. The harder you suppress the noise, the more it will affect your voice. You should play around with which one sounds better to you, or an end noise has no options. And then if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, the noise removal is absolutely amazing and it will barely affect your voice quality. Now, to be fair, this noise removal is absolutely perfect for normal stuff. Now, if my editor boosts my volume a bit, you will hear the noise and then you will hear how good this is. As you can see, it completely removes background noise, so that's perfect. The reason you would want to use NVIDIA noise removal is that this removes everything from the background, even people talking, a truck driving by. It's absolutely crazy, but this one is great as well. By the way, real quick, if you're not hearing your own microphone, I completely forgot, you can just go to the audio mixer, press one of these icons, go to advanced audio properties, and then next to your microphone source, you just want to change it to monitor and output, and then you will hear your microphone like I'm doing right now. We want to use a new filter that's new with this update, the 3-band equalizer, and this is a perfect filter to change how our voice sounds. So we have the highs, the mids, and the lows, and as you can see, when I add the lows while I'm talking, I will add a lot of bass to my voice, and if I remove it, my voice will sound much more thin. I'm gonna set it to 0. Then the highs, this is to sound much more crisp. As you can see, this is kind of like a radio voice. It's way too much. If you lower the highs, then this sounds really like muffled. I don't know if that's a word. And then the mids, this is really hard to explain, but when you reduce the mids a bit, you will always sound a bit more broadcasty like, a bit more professional. However, if you overdo it, that's definitely not something you want to do. But in general, I'd say reduce the mids a bit, then maybe add a bit to the highs, and then the lows, this will depend on your microphone and your voice. If you have a really low voice, then adding some lows here will probably be way too much. However, if you say I have a really thin voice and I want to sound a bit more like warm and low, then you can absolutely add a bit of this. And you just want to listen to yourself and then find the sound you want to go for. I reduce the mids even more. You definitely need to be careful with this, but as you can hear, when I disable this, my voice sounds much more hollow, and then when I enable it, it sounds much more like a podcast voice. So our voice sounds much better already. However, the really important filters are gonna be the compressor and then the expander. What these two filters are doing is making sure that your audio is always at the same volume. When you talk really quiet, your audio will be boosted, and then when you talk really loud or you scream or you rage on stream, your audio will always be pulled back down so that it's always in the same range for the viewer. Now, setting up the expander is very straightforward. To change this ratio to 3, you set the attack to 1 millisecond, you set the release to 100, then you move this threshold slider all the way to the left. And now what you gotta do is look at this audio mixer here, and you want to talk as quiet as possible, the quietest you would ever talk on stream, because this expander works like a noise gate, and what we're trying to do is making sure that sound around our microphone will not be loud enough to trigger the mic, and so make sure that the mic only activates when it hears our voice, which is really close to the mic and which will be very loud. So you look at the audio mixer, and before finding that sweet spot, you want to talk really quiet, and you just want to move the output gain to the right and add gain until the quietest you would ever talk on stream is making this mixer here go to the end of the yellow. So I'm gonna talk really quiet now, and I'm gonna move the output gain slider to the right until this sound is going to the yellow here. And so now, no matter how quiet I talk, the sound will always be loud enough for the stream. And what you want to do next is go to the threshold slider here, and now you want to find the point where your voice is barely triggering the microphone. So I'm gonna move the threshold slider to the right, and at some point my voice is gonna become really quiet, like now. So I want to go back to the left again. So maybe at this point here, if I talk really quiet, so maybe at like -32, as you can see, my voice is triggering the microphone. The voice is loud enough to make it activate, and while I'm talking you will hear my hands clapping. However, when I stop talking, the hands won't be loud enough to trigger the mic. So now that we're always gonna be loud enough on stream, the next thing we gotta worry about is when we scream. As you can see in the audio mixer, hey, we are still peaking outside of the red, and so to fix that we want to add a compressor filter. Again, I'm gonna disable it, change the ratio to 3, the threshold all the way to the right, set the attack to 1 millisecond, the release to 100, and then now all we gotta do is just shout into the microphone. You will see that it will go into the red, and then you just move the threshold to the left until your shouting is not making this audio peak anymore. So as you can see at 0, hey, it's peaking. However, if I change the threshold to like -15, hey, it is not peaking anymore. So now my quiet sounds will go to the end of the yellow, and then my shouting won't move past this point here. And that means that I will always be the same volume on stream. Now, before we add the next filter, I want to say something really important, because if you go back to the expander here, I did change the threshold for recording this video. Actually, I changed it right now, which is way too late. But the reason I changed it is that things like a noise gate or an expander that cut out audio that's way too low, these also have negative effects, and mainly that you can hear it when it's opening the gate for the audio. So when our expander filter here, which is our noise gate, when it is closing the gate of the microphone for the incoming audio, and then it triggers when we speak, you will always hear it kind of opening, kind of a pop, kind of a delay, like the first part of your first letter that you're speaking into the microphone won't really get recorded, and you can hear it when I make this effect stronger. So if I talk and then not talk, if I talk in this way, you will definitely hear the gate opening and closing. So making this effect way too harsh will definitely have an impact. So you want to find the balance, and it also depends on how bad you want to remove keyboard sound when you're not talking and stuff like that. Another filter you definitely need to add after adding all these filters, let me see here, a limiter. Now what this does is really simple. A limiter just limits your sound when it goes above a certain volume, and we just want to move this threshold all the way to the right, then press this one time for -0.1. This limiter is just a final failsafe. When you look at the audio mixer, -0.1 is right here all the way at the end, which means that when your audio is going past the end of the red, then it will just get limited. However, this will barely happen because we did add a compressor that pulls our...
I don't get it. Hello. Hello. Man. Hello. Hello. My voice is weird, fucking weird. Bruh. Are you kidding me?
The Fine K688 is one of the best value for money microphones of our time, but it has one fatal flaw. Sometimes it can sound like you're talking into a pillow, especially with the pop filter on. And of course you can take it off, but of course, who would actually do this? So today, we are going to try to solve that problem with EQ. By the way, if you're new to this channel, my name is Lspdfr. I'm a voice actor who's worked with 5 minutes. Let's go. So the first thing you gotta do is to head on over to tokyodon.net/TDR-Nova. And from there, just download this free
Damn it. Oh, that's not it. Damn it. Hello. 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 God damn it. I don't need the fucking user guide. of a bitch, bro. Oh my god. Hello? Hello?